What's going on, everybody? Mortem here, and today I'm talking about 5 video game worlds that I, frankly, am very thankful that I do not live in. So this week is, of course, Thanksgiving week, and so I figured I'd do a little bit of content kind of structured around being thankful for things. And in this particular case, video game worlds, I'm again thankful I did not have to live in. Now, that said, these are in no particular order, and moreover, there are so many horrendous video game worlds to live in, I imagine, that this is hardly a definitive list. So, by all means, leave comments down below about your personal nightmarish video game worlds. First and foremost, we have the Outer Worlds. So, the Outer Worlds is corporate greed taken to the absolute extreme in a space colony. If you've played the Outer Worlds already, then most of this won't come as a surprise to you, but minor spoilers if you haven't. In the Outer Worlds, especially in this space colony, the Halcyon colony, everyone works for a company for the most part, and it controls and dominates every aspect of their life, which by itself leads to a bit of a corporate dystopia. But to compound all that, you are in space, there are mutated creatures everywhere trying to kill you, and to top it all off, the nutritional value of everything you're eating is lackluster, and thus, there's a good chance, though, even though you are eating, you might die of starvation anyway. All in all, just a terrible place to be. Next up, we have Star Wars. Star Wars, the universe as a whole, unless you get really lucky and just live on a planet that nobody messes with, you're in for a bad time. Now, truthfully, there are all sorts of reasons living in the Star Wars universe could be genuinely terrible, but I think probably the most specific instance of that for me personally would be the fact that at any moment some planet-destroying weapon might go off and obliterate not only where you live, but the entire planet you live on, which is about as extreme as it gets, I imagine. And for that reason, while it is very cool, count me out of living in Star Wars. Third on the list, we have the world of Eora. That is to say, the Pillars of Eternity universe and soon-to-be Avowed universe. Now, while depending on where exactly in the world of Eora you are, it might not actually be so bad in terms of your actual life. But with the constant wars raging, the deadly beasts that could definitely attack you, literal dragons, and if that wasn't enough, the recent discovery of soul magic, otherwise known as animancy, might cause some grievous soul malady to you. And if all of that still wasn't enough for you, ultimately all the mortals of Eora are really just food for the god's eternal hunger in the cycle that is the wheel. So all in all, just a terrible place to be. Fourth on the list, we have Mechajammer. So this is a game that actually isn't quite out yet. They've released a bunch of demos and things, however, and it launches on December 2nd, I believe. But that said, I've played through Mechajammer quite a bit through a review key as well as the demos. The review key doesn't have an embargo, so I am allowed to show this stuff. But the world of Mechajammer seems pretty nightmarish, actually. It is a backwater jungle planet, and while the game itself is fairly pixelated, the setting, just by itself, the jungle planet, looks horrendous. It is polluted 6 ways to Sunday, so mutants abound, and this is yet another world where if anybody voices dissent, they are simply conscripted into the military or killed outright. So all in all, just a grimy dystopia that seems like just an abysmal place to be any which way you look at it. And then last but not least on this list, we have the World of Cyberpunk. In continuing with our slight theme of corporate overlords, the World of Cyberpunk, completely discounting its many numerous bugs on launch, which in and of itself was quite terrifying, but ignoring that part completely, the actual world of Cyberpunk would be a nightmare, where your options are basically a life of almost guaranteed poverty, unless you are one of the very, very privileged few, or a life of nomadic poverty. So it's really just choose your shade of poverty, which is the case for most people. That said, I think the nomads might be the way to go, because at least out there, you stand a little bit of a chance if you have a group of people you can depend on, whereas in the city, the crime is so rampant, chances are you might catch a bullet just walking down the street doing nothing to anyone, even if you are just a regular Joe. So, all in all, there you go, guys. 5 video game worlds that I absolutely would not want to live in. Again, drop your suggestions down in the comments below, because while I do dearly love video games, I do find it humorous that while they are fun to actually play and explore, the concept of actually living in one just sounds awful. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube jazz. But regardless of any of that, truly, just thank you so much for watching. May you wander in wisdom and have an amazing day.